My chosen child, stop right now wherever you are. Do not scroll past this sacred encounter. Heaven has set an invisible clock for this exact second. And your presence here today was scheduled in eternity long before the foundations of the world were laid. I am stepping directly into your path with an urgent announcement today. Stay right here for a quiet moment. The heavy atmosphere around your life is about to change forever. And everything you have been carrying in secret is being lifted off your shoulders right now. Jesus has just stopped what was coming against you. A silent and destructive scheme was moving toward your door in the dark. It was designed to dismantle your peace, ruin your health, and drain your hard-earned resources completely. But my son stood directly in the gap before the blow could land on your family. He shattered that weapon in the unseen realm, and the trap set for your destiny has failed. You did not stumble onto this message by accident. I have watched you carrying a heavy load in the quiet hours between midnight and morning. You felt so weary. Your shoulders were tight, the pressure felt real. And every morning when you woke up, the heaviness was already sitting on your chest before you even opened your eyes. You pushed through anyway. You smiled for everyone else. But inside your heart, you were barely holding on. I see you clearly today. I have always seen you. I watched every single tear that you wiped away when no one else was looking. You asked yourself if heaven had gone quiet while the battle raged against your mind. Not a single drop of your sorrow fell to the ground unnoticed by my throne. I caught every tear as something precious, and I am here today to lift what you were never meant to carry alone. The enemy fought you so hard because he saw what I was about to release into your hands. He wanted to exhaust your spirit right before you reached your breakthrough. Declare your amen right now in your heart if you have faith in this sacred meeting. Touch the quiet space inside your soul and agree with my word, because the atmosphere around you is shifting at this very instant. A celestial decree authorized directly by my divine throne has been signed over your lineage today. This is not a human promise or a fleeting word of earthly comfort. It is an official decree from the highest court of heaven that overrides every law of lack and delay in your life. What was once blocked in the natural realm is now unsealed by royal command. I will reveal to you the exact nature of the stealth attack that was advancing toward your home. Forces of darkness thought they had found a hidden weakness in your story. They prepared a sudden storm to sweep away your progress. They counted on your deep fatigue, and they believed that after months of fighting in the wilderness, you would finally give up and walk away from your promise. They did not know that Jesus was standing guard at your threshold. When the wave rose to crush your spirit, my son lifted his hand and spoke peace into the waters. He canceled the enemy assignment before it could ever breach your defense. And now, in place of that intended ruin, a massive miracle release is taking place in your atmosphere today. Stop measuring your future by the painful scars of what you walked through in that lonely season. The adversary tried to convince you that you were falling behind everyone else, but you were actually being built into something rare and strong. You are not a helpless victim surviving a storm. You are a chosen vessel and a royal heir to my kingdom, carrying a divine purpose that darkness cannot touch. When a celestial decree is issued, no opposition on earth has the power to delay your harvest. The signatures of heaven are written in blood and glory over your name. Every closed door that made you question your worth is about to swing wide open on its hinges. What felt like an endless season of lack was actually my hand holding you back until your foundation was strong enough to support your victory. Stay close to me in this sacred hour. The turnaround you prayed for during those dark nights is not months away. It begins at this exact moment, as these words find a quiet place in your spirit. Lower your defenses right now. Allow my presence to wrap around your weary heart like a warm blanket, and breathe in the deep peace that only my spirit can bring into your room. You do not need to figure out every step of tomorrow on your own. I have already gone ahead of you into your future, clearing the path and removing every trap that was laid for your feet. What was meant to break you down has been turned into the very thing that positions you for glory. You survived the furnace because the fire was never sent to destroy you, but to refine your pure gold. Hear my voice above the loud noise of the world around you today. Do not look back at the wreckage of past seasons with regret or fear, because the old chapter is closed forever. I am about to take you deeper into the hidden places of your heart that you kept locked away. Listen closely to what I am about to make known, for the truth of your deliverance is being laid plain right now. Let us step deeper into the quiet places of your heart today. I know the hours when the house grew completely still and sleep would not come to your eyes. You lay awake in the dark. You stared at the ceiling. The heavy silence filled the room while your mind turned over every fear about tomorrow. And while the rest of the world slept peacefully, you were left alone with a heavy heart that felt crushed under the weight of your thoughts. I watched you put on that smile every morning like a heavy suit of armor. You walked out into the world and made everyone else feel safe. You listened to their problems. You fixed their troubles. You held everything together for those around you, but inside your spirit, you were quietly falling apart. You wore that brave face so well that no human eye could ever see the silent storm raging inside your soul. You carried a load that was never meant for your shoulders alone. You pretended to be strong because you felt there was no option to be weak. People looked at you and assumed you were fine because you never complained out loud. But I saw the exhaustion that settled deep into your bones before you even got out of bed each day. And I saw how tired you were of holding up walls that felt ready to crumble at any second. It was not just physical fatigue that drained your strength over these past months. You were locked in a constant battle against unseen forces that you could not fully explain to anyone. Unexpected friction met you at every turn. Small tasks felt impossibly heavy, and every time you tried to take a step forward into peace, an invisible wall seemed to push you right back into frustration. You wondered why simple things required such exhausting effort in your life. You asked yourself why peace seemed so easy for others, while your mind remained a constant battleground. You were fighting spiritual battles on every side without realizing why the pressure was so intense. You had to defend your heart, protect your peace, and guard your resources all by yourself, and that constant vigilance left your spirit completely depleted. I am here to tell you today that your weariness is valid. I do not scold you for feeling tired, and I do not expect you to perform strength in my presence. You can take off that heavy suit of armor right now. You can lower your guard in this holy moment because you no longer have to protect yourself against the storm. The God who numbers the stars was watching every single moment of your silent struggle. Not a single tear you shed on your pillow fell to the floor unnoticed. I collected every drop of your sorrow as a precious treasure before my throne. Every silent cry you whispered into the dark was heard in the highest courts of heaven. The world may have assumed you were fine, but I knew the exact depth of the wound you were hiding behind that gentle smile. You felt abandoned in that valley of endless fighting, but I was standing right beside you through every tearful night. My presence wrapped around you, even when your heart felt completely numb to my comfort. You thought the heavy silence meant that I had turned my back on your pain, but my silence was actually my quiet protection over your life while I prepared your divine rescue. You were always the giver in every relationship. You poured out your energy, your time, and your finances until your own cup was completely empty. You looked around expecting someone to offer you a drop of the comfort you so freely gave to others, but you found yourself standing alone in an empty field. I saw that aching void in your life, and I am filling it with my divine abundance today. You do not need to wear that mask any longer, my child. You can drop the burden of trying to fix everything with your own strength right now. Let the deep relief of my peace flood your mind as you release the need to be strong for everyone else. Breathe out the heavy tension you held in your shoulders for years, and breathe in the divine comfort that is settling into your heart at this exact second. The battle you fought in secret was far bigger than a simple human struggle. An invisible spiritual war was raging over your peace, your identity, and your family line. The enemy knew that if he could wear down your spirit, you would surrender right before the breakthrough arrived. But you did not break, and your endurance in the furnace proved the holy strength that I placed deep inside your soul. You were pushed to the very limit of your endurance, yet you kept moving forward with trembling hands. You chose mercy when you were treated unfairly. You chose love when you were wounded deeply by those you trusted. And every time you chose to stay kind despite the pain, you confused the forces of darkness that expected you to become bitter and cold. Hear me clearly as I open the hidden reality of your recent trial today. What felt like a season of cruel delay was actually a season of divine shelter from a trap you could not see. Now that your heart is resting in my truth, I am ready to uncover the full nature of the unseen attack that Jesus just blocked on your behalf. Listen closely as we step into the next part of this sacred revelation, because your understanding will set you free forever. Hear me carefully right now. I am unlocking the exact blueprint today. The adversary did not choose this moment by chance. He saw that a major spiritual turning point was drawing near to your household. And he knew that if you entered this new season with your peace intact, his influence over your lineage would be broken forever. So he orchestrated a targeted collision aimed directly at two vital areas of your life. He targeted your financial stability and your mental peace. He prepared a sudden financial drain, a sudden breakdown of support, and an overwhelming surge of anxiety that was meant to paralyze your faith. He wanted to make you feel like everything you worked so hard to build was slipping through your fingers. Inscribe these words in your heart and write them right now in your mind. Jesus is my wall of fire. That statement is not just a poetic thought for your comfort. It is the spiritual reality that guarded your home when the attack reached your perimeter. The enemy calculated your energy level, saw your deep fatigue, and assumed you had no strength left to resist his strike. He thought he could launch a sudden surprise attack that would catch you completely off guard. He expected you to panic when the pressure mounted. He wanted you to make desperate decisions out of fear. And he believed that this single calculated hit would finally push you to throw in the towel and give up on my promises. What he failed to realize was that you do not walk alone through the dark. While you were sleeping, a divine security detail was standing guard around your family. The strike was traveling at full speed toward your life. It was meant to destroy your peace before morning. But it never reached your heart because my son stepped directly onto your threshold. Jesus confronted the incoming blow right at your doorway. The collision was violent and absolute in the spirit realm. The weapon of financial lack smashed into the fire surrounding your soul. And instead of breaking your life into pieces, the weapon itself shattered into dust right before your eyes. That is why you felt such an intense physical heaviness over the last few days. What you experienced was not your defeat. It was not the collapse of your future. It was the shockwave of that massive spiritual collision taking place right outside your door. The sudden fear that gripped your chest was the enemy trying to convince you that the blow had landed on you. He tried to make you believe that the nightmare had already won. He was lying to your mind to cover up his own humiliating failure. He wanted you to focus on the loud noise so you would not realize that the weapon was destroyed. Look at your life today, my child. You are still standing unbroken. The door to your home remains firmly closed against the forces of ruin. Not a single authority of hell was permitted to cross your threshold. No weapon formed against you could prosper. What was meant to be a devastating loss has been intercepted and turned into a powerful proof of my divine protection over your name. Think back to how close the danger felt to your mind. You felt as though you were standing on the edge of a cliff. You waited for the final push that would send you falling. But the push never came because the hand that formed the galaxies was holding you steady from behind. You were simply being held in place. Every financial trap set to entangle your future has been dismantled by royal authority. The invisible debts and unexpected bills were designed to keep you trapped in panic. They tried to drain your faith. They wanted to steal your sleep. But I have broken the grip of that artificial scarcity over your mind today. The adversary wanted to keep your hands clenched tightly in fear so you would never receive what heaven was preparing to pour out. He knew that a fearful heart cannot walk in royal authority. He feared your true identity. He tried to hide your future. But today, as the truth of this blocked attack settles into your spirit, the spirit of fear is losing its hold on your thoughts forever. I am stripping away the lingering terror that made you flinch at every unexpected noise or bad piece of news. You do not need to live in fear. You do not need to expect disaster. The wall of fire that stopped this strike is still standing strong, and it will continue to protect your steps as we move forward into your promise. Do not rush past this moment of revelation, my precious child. Let the deep reality of your protection soak into every corner of your weary soul. You are safe under my wings. The storm has lost its power over your house, and the very trap that was set to destroy you has become the monument of your victory. Now that you understand how Jesus intercepted this strike, we must look at why you passed through the heat of the wilderness. There is a deep secret behind the silence you experienced. It will change how you view every battle. Stay with me right now, because the true meaning of your furnace is about to be revealed. Stop looking at your wilderness season as a graveyard of your dreams. You felt lost in that dry land. You wondered why every stream seemed to dry up. And while you watched others move forward effortlessly, you felt trapped in an endless desert of waiting and quiet isolation. But I am telling you today that the wilderness was never your burial ground. It was your holy sanctuary of transformation. You asked me why heaven went quiet during your hardest moments. You thought my silence meant that I had turned my face away from your pain. But the refiner does not walk away when the gold enters the furnace. He stands right over the crucible in complete silence, leaning in close with intense devotion, waiting until every single impurity rises to the top and burns away. My silence was not my absence in your story. It was my quiet confidence in what I placed deep inside your spirit. I knew you would not fold under the heat. I watched your faith hold strong when your physical body wanted to quit. And every agonizing moment you spent in that crucible was stripping away the fears and doubts that would have ruined your future. The fire was never sent to consume your life, my child. It was sent to consume the heavy chains that kept you bound to human approval. You were relying on the praise of people to know your worth. You relied on earthly security to feel safe. But in the intense heat of the wilderness, those temporary crutches melted away until only pure faith remained. The adversary whispered to your mind that you were being broken into pieces. He wanted you to look at your wounds and see total destruction. But I declare to you today that you were never broken down. You were being broken open like a precious vessel of sacred oil. When the hard outer shell cracks, the rich fragrance inside finally fills the entire house. Think of the costly alabaster jar that was brought to my feet. As long as the jar remained sealed and whole, the precious oil remained trapped inside. It had to be crushed open so the sweet fragrance could pour out onto the world. Your season of deep pressure was the crushing of that outer shell, so my anointed power could flood out of your heart. What comes out of you when you are pressed under heavy loads? The world expected you to pour out bitterness and anger when you were treated unfairly. The enemy expected you to speak words of defeat when the battle dragged on. But instead of cursing those who hurt you, you released mercy, patience, and unwavering trust in my name. You prove that what surrounds your life does not get to decide what comes out of your soul. That is the true mark of a royal heir in my kingdom. You are not defined by the heat of the furnace, but by the glory of the gold that emerges from the flames. The painful season you survived did not diminish your value in any way. It magnified your true purpose. Do not allow the enemy to label your scars as marks of shame. Every scar on your heart is a holy badge of honor that proves you survived the fire. You walked through the deep waters and you did not drown. You walked through the burning flames and you were not consumed. You are living proof that my grace is more than enough for any storm. The season of refined testing is complete in your life today. The furnace has done its job, and the gold of your character is shining bright before my throne. I am stepping into your wilderness right now to open fresh springs of living water in your dry land. The dry ground beneath your feet is turning into a fertile garden of abundance. You will no longer look back on your past trials with a sense of grief or loss. You will look at them with holy pride because you know what they produced inside you. What felt like an endless desert was actually the sacred ground where your true authority was born. You learned to hear my voice above the loud noise of human opinions. Now you can step out of the shadows with a firm confidence in your step. You know who holds your future, and you know that no earthly obstacle can stand against my spoken promise. The strength you gained in the dark will carry you through the massive open doors that are waiting for you right now. You are ready to walk into your true assignment. Many people left your side while you were walking through that hot furnace. You wondered why those you loved stepped away right when you needed them most. But there is a divine reason why their presence was removed from your path. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you, because the clearing of your inner circle was my active hand pruning your life. The pruning process always feels like a painful reduction in the moment. You felt stripped bare as branch after branch was cut away by my shears. But a wise gardener never prunes a vine to destroy it. He cuts away the old growth so the plant can produce fruit that lasts for generations to come. Stop defining yourself by the painful labels that the world tried to stick onto your name. The enemy wanted you to view yourself as a broken victim who was barely surviving the storm. He whispered that you were forgotten, that you missed your window of opportunity, and that your best days were already behind you. But I dismantle every single one of those counterfeit labels over your mind right now. You are not a helpless survivor sitting in the dust of past failures. You are a royal heir to the kingdom of heaven, carrying an unbroken lineage of divine favor and holy purpose. And the blood that flows through your spiritual veins grants you royal access to the highest court of eternity. Walk with your head lifted high today because you carry the authority of the King of Kings wherever you step. Do not let the scars on your heart fool you into believing that you are damaged goods. Scars are not marks of weakness or disgrace. Scars are the undeniable proof that a fierce battle took place and that you walked out of the valley alive. You carry an anointed presence that was forged in the heat of your deepest trials, and that sacred oil cannot be bought or stolen by any earthly power. I know it hurt when those you loved walked away from your life in your hour of need. You looked at their empty seats and wondered what you did wrong to deserve their cold departure. You replayed every conversation in your mind, trying to find the mistake that drove them away from your side. But I am stepping into your grief today to tell you that their exit was not your failure. Their departure was my active hand, pruning your life to make room for your harvest. A healthy branch cannot bear fruit when it is weighed down by dead wood. And I stepped into your inner circle with divine shears to remove every relationship that would have poisoned the blessing I am releasing today. What felt like a painful loss was actually my sovereign protection over your destiny. Some of the people you held close were never designed to travel into your next chapter. They were only equipped to handle the old version of you that stayed small and quiet. When my presence began to lift you up into royal authority, their hearts grew uncomfortable in the light of your calling. They could not celebrate the grace on your life because it exposed the lack in their own. If I had allowed those individuals to stay in your atmosphere, their hidden envy would have corrupted the sacred soil of your new season. They would have whispered doubt into your mind right when you needed bold faith to step into your promise. I removed them from your table because their hands were too dirty to hold the holy gifts I am placing before you right now. Forgive them completely in your heart today and let them go without any lingering bitterness or anger. You do not need to seek revenge or prove your worth to those who walked away from you. Their departure cleared the necessary space for divine connections that will honor the grace you carry. I am surrounding your life with faithful companions who will stand shoulder to shoulder with you in the light. The celestial decree that was authorized over your lineage requires a clean environment to flourish. You cannot carry royal favor while clinging to the toxic habits and outdated relationships of your past wilderness. Release the heavy grief of what used to be, because the glory of what stands directly ahead of you will cause you to forget the pain of yesterday. Look at your hands today, my beloved child. They are no longer empty, and they are no longer bound by the chains of human expectation. I have placed a royal scepter of authority in your spirit, and I have given you the right to decree a thing so that it shall be established in your home. Speak words of life over your future right now, because heaven is listening to your voice. The enemy tried to make you feel isolated so that you would think you were completely alone in the world. But my angels have always formed an invisible perimeter around your dwelling. You are surrounded by heavenly hosts that respond to the words of faith that come out of your mouth. You have never been alone for a single second, and you will never be abandoned to the storm. Rise up out of the heavy ash of self-pity and step into your true royal identity. You were not picked to be a bystander in this generation. You were chosen before the foundations of the world were laid to be a living proof of my power and restoration. Every door that was closed by human hands will be opened wide by my sovereign hand in this very hour. The long night of waiting is ending, and the atmosphere around your life is heavy with the promise of divine breakthrough. The battle over your identity has been fought, and the verdict has been handed down from my throne in your favor. Hear the sound of liberation ringing through the unseen realm, because the hour of your public restoration has finally arrived. Get ready to see the physical fruits of the celestial decree that has been signed in your name. The strongholds that held back your resources are crumbling down to the ground right now. Stay steadfast in my presence as we move into the center of this sacred encounter, where the full weight of my power will be demonstrated before your eyes. Lift up your eyes right now. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting violently around you. I step onto your battlefield today, and the heavy darkness that hung over your family for generations is fleeing from my presence at this exact second. Hear the sound of breaking chains. The time of passive waiting is over. The forces of darkness are retreating in confusion before my power. They thought they had trapped you forever. You felt weary in the struggle, but my glory has descended upon your household to fight this war on your behalf today. Stand firm where you are right now. Watch the total collapse of every enemy stronghold. I speak directly to the dark forces that bound your life. By the authority of my throne, I shatter the first seal over your destiny today. I break the seal of financial scarcity and generational debt that kept your hands tied in fear. The artificial limit placed on your income is completely destroyed at this instant. Hidden reservoirs of wealth are unsealed for your lineage right now. You will no longer labor under lack. You will not wonder how tomorrow will be supplied. The spirit of poverty has lost its power, and I am opening the windows of heaven right now to pour out supernatural abundance that your home cannot even contain. Every financial trap set for your future is dismantled today. I command the second seal of mental confusion to crack open right now. The spirit of anxiety is expelled from your dwelling. The heavy fog in your mind is clearing away, and the relentless fear that stole your sleep during those long dark nights is losing its hold on your heart forever. I pour out a holy wave of crystal clear vision into your spirit. The tormenting thoughts are silenced forever. Your mind is no longer a battleground. You can breathe easily again, because my divine peace is standing guard around your heart like an unbroken fortress of fire. Feel the deep tension melting away from your shoulders right now. The internal noise is replaced by the gentle whisper of my comfort. I shatter the third seal of relational blockage and generational delay today. The invisible wall is crumbled into dust. The cycle of disappointment is broken, and what took past generations 40 years of painful effort to achieve will overtake your life in a single season of divine alignment. The spirit of delay has no authority over your name anymore. Every locked door is swinging wide open on its hinges. Divine helpers are searching for you right now. They will offer support without you asking, and the wasted years that were eaten by past trials are being restored to your hands with massive interest today. What felt like a permanent loss was simply my hand holding you back for victory. Hear the supreme decree echo across eternity at this second. Celestial decree authorized. Heaven's Supreme Court reviewed your tearful prayers, measured your faithful endurance through the fire, and issued a final non-negotiable verdict. Every legal charge brought against your name is canceled by royal command. No power on earth can overturn what my throne authorized today. The signatures of heaven are written in fire over your destiny. My angels are deployed to execute this decree in your life, and the enemy who stood against your house has been stripped of his power completely. You are legally declared free and restored in my kingdom right now. Miracle released. The floodgates of glory are opened wide over your household right now. Stored up blessings are pouring into your hands. Supernatural favor is surrounding your steps like a protective shield, and every past loss is being turned into a double portion of restoration before your eyes. What was stolen in the dark is returned to you today. Witness the physical evidence of this miracle in the days ahead. Unexpected doors will open in your career. Healing will flood your physical body. And while the world around you continues to struggle in confusion, your home will remain a peaceful haven of divine abundance and joy. You are stepping into an era of effortless fruitfulness right now. Stand tall in your royal identity today. Receive the fire of my presence into your bones. You are not fighting for victory anymore, because the battle has already been won by my Son on your behalf on the cross. Feel the heavy weight leaving your shoulders completely as my glory fills every corner of your house at this instant. Walk forward with absolute confidence from this hour on. No weapon formed against your destiny shall prosper. The long winter of spiritual warfare has ended, and the sweet fragrance of your divine victory is settling over your spirit as my peace wraps around your heart. The loud noise of the enemy is silenced forever by my word. A physical response of faith is required to lock this shift into your life today. As the glory of this breakthrough settles deep into your soul, do not remain silent or passive in my presence. Lower your defenses completely right now. Prepare your heart to seal what has been authorized for your lineage, because your obedience in this next moment will establish your freedom forever. Look at the posture of your heart right now, my child. A clenched fist is a sign of fear and artificial scarcity. When you hold your hand tightly closed, you are trying to protect a tiny portion because you fear tomorrow will bring total lack. But a royal heir walks into the kingdom with an open hand. An open hand is not a posture of weakness or surrender to the enemy. It is a holy sign of absolute trust and unshakable authority before my throne. When you open your hand before me, you release the heavy burden of trying to preserve your life with human effort alone, and you allow the infinite supply of my kingdom to flow freely into your household without any barrier. You are standing at the threshold of a massive financial unsealing today. The celestial decree that was authorized over your family line requires an action of faith to lock it into the physical realm. Heaven is ready to pour out the promised miracle release upon your story. But you must step out of the spirit of fear that kept your hands clenched for so many years. The adversary wanted you to believe that releasing anything from your hand would leave you empty and helpless in the wilderness. He used that lie to keep you bound to smallness. He wanted you to look at your resources with panic, and he made you feel that holding on tightly to what you have was your only shield against total ruin. I am dismantling that counterfeit fear over your mind at this exact second. You do not serve a God of scarcity who demands what you cannot give. You serve the Creator who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills and commands the gold in every hidden mountain. What you release in faith does not leave your life forever, but it moves ahead into your future harvest. Place a sacred seed of faith upon the stone altar of this calling right now. Open your hand before my presence today as a prophetic decree that breaks the spirit of lack over your lineage. Lay down your fear upon the altar and step into the abundant flow of supply that was prepared for your family line before time began. This is your moment of holy obedience and royal alignment. You are not buying a blessing with your seed, because my love cannot be purchased with silver or gold. You are simply placing an anchor of faith into the soil of my promise. And when you align your physical action with my spiritual decree, the hidden seals over your inheritance crack wide open. Watch how heaven responds to a heart that dares to trust my word above the noise of the world. The doors that were locked tight against your finances are swinging open right now. Hidden streams of provision will find their way into your life in ways that will leave human logic completely speechless. You are stepping into an era of supernatural multiplication. Now, lift up your voice with royal confidence into the atmosphere around your room. Speak these exact words with a firm and unwavering heart right now. Declare out loud that I am free from what was coming against me. Say those words with authority and feel every remaining chain of delay shatter into dust at this instant. Let that holy declaration ring through the unseen realm like a trumpet of victory. The enemy hears your voice and realizes that his mind games have failed completely. You are no longer intimidated by his threats or discouraged by his quiet delays. You are standing firm as an authorized royal heir who knows the power of the Father name. The seed of faith you release today acts as a prophetic memorial before my eternal throne. It speaks louder than the doubts that tormented your mind during those long, dark nights in the wilderness. It testifies that you believe my promise above your temporary circumstances, and it unlocks the full measure of the miracle release that was authorized for your house. You have passed from the season of heavy striving into the season of effortless receiving. Do not look back at the scarcity of yesterday with anxiety or regret, because the old order of lack has passed away forever. Your open hand is now a permanent vessel for my glory, and I will satisfy your soul with goodness in every area of your life. Feel the deep relief washing over your soul as you let go of every lingering worry about your provision. The God who guarded your door against the silent strike of the adversary is the same God who supplies all your needs according to his riches in glory. You can rest your weary head tonight knowing that your future is fully secured in my hands. As this moment of faith seals your financial breakthrough, prepare your heart for the final blessing. We are moving into the quiet sanctuary of our ending prayer, where my peace will wrap around your soul like an unbroken shield. Stay quiet in my presence for just a moment longer, because the sealing prayer is about to cover your entire house. Close your eyes right now and take a deep, slow breath. Feel the heavy tension completely leaving your shoulders and your mind. The long battle is over. And the quiet atmosphere of my divine presence is settling over your room like a warm blanket. You no longer need to fight or defend your heart, because my peace is holding you safe in this sacred hour. I give you a sacred instruction as we seal this encounter today. Keep this private revelation quiet in your heart for a season. Do not run to the loud crowd to explain what heaven has authorized for your lineage. The seed of your miracle is tender right now, and it needs the quiet soil of secret faith to take deep root before the world sees the fruit. When you share holy secrets with doubtful voices, their skepticism can throw unnecessary noise into your atmosphere. Protect what was given to you today. Let your victory speak for itself in due time. You do not need human validation to confirm what my throne has signed, because the physical proof will manifest before their eyes without you saying a single word. Walk in holy discretion through these coming days. The adversary loves to use casual conversations to whisper doubt into a newly opened heart. When people ask you why you look so peaceful or why your eyes carry a new light, simply smile and hold your peace inside. Let the quiet work of my spirit mature in the dark until the harvest is too large for anyone to deny. Hold the miracle in the quiet sanctuary of your soul. Like a seed hidden beneath the dark earth, your breakthrough is growing in secret power away from the eyes of critics. The roots are going deep into my grace today, and when the stem breaks through the surface, everyone will see the undeniable evidence of my favor upon your house. Now let us seal everything that was spoken over your destiny in prayer. Heavenly Father, I bring my beloved child before your throne of grace right now. Cover their home with your holy fire. Place a shield of divine protection around their mind, their body, and their resources, so that no weapon of darkness can ever touch their peace again. I decree your supernatural peace over their family line today. Let every lingering anxiety dissolve into nothingness under the weight of your love. Restore the sleep that was stolen during those dark nights of waiting, and let their mind rest in the absolute assurance that their future is fully secured by your royal promise. Bless their going out and their coming in from this day forward. Open the windows of heaven over their finances, and let your unsealed provision flood into their life like a mighty river. Hinder every spirit of delay or confusion from crossing their threshold, and let your angels guard every room in their house through the quiet hours of the night. Break every lingering shadow of generational fear that tried to follow them out of the wilderness season. Let their household become a sanctuary of holy joy and unshakable strength. Where there was once friction and misunderstanding, bring a sweet unity that honors your name, and let your favor rest upon every project their hands touch. The long wilderness chapter of testing is closed forever. My child walks into their open country with their head lifted high. They are no longer bound by the scars of past trials or the fears of tomorrow, because your presence is walking directly ahead of their steps. Every promise you made over their life shall come to pass without delay. Lay your head down tonight in deep, undisturbed rest. The heavy weight you carried for years has been lifted off your chest forever. You can sleep in safety, knowing that the God who guards your destiny never slumbers nor sleeps. What I have declared over your lineage today stands firm in eternity, and no earthly power can alter your blessing. Allow my presence to wrap around your heart as you drift into a peaceful sleep tonight. The worries that kept you awake in past seasons have no power over your mind anymore. You are safe under the shadow of my wings, and tomorrow morning you will wake up with a renewed strength and a quiet joy filling your soul. Every room in your home is cleansed by my holy presence today. The heavy fog of confusion has lifted completely from your atmosphere, leaving behind a stillness that calms every fear. You do not need to wake up tomorrow with anxiety in your chest, because my grace has already ordered every detail of your coming day. Go forth into your tomorrow with quiet confidence in your heart. You are loved beyond measure. You are protected by my authority, and you are walking into the fullest manifestation of your royal inheritance right now. Breathe in my peace one last time, and let your soul settle into the deep rest I have prepared for you. Express your heart agreement to seal this covenant forever. Declare your final amen in the quiet of your spirit right now. And join our faithful remnant by checking the pinned direction left below to stay anchored in my word as you step into your glorious harvest. Peace be still, my precious child.